Good evening. My name is Soham Datta, and I am going to present on the topic Application of regex in network security. As we know, regex, which stands for regular expression, is a very powerful tool for pattern matching within strings. It provides a concise and flexible mean of describing complex search patterns, allowing us to match, manipulate, and extract text based on specific criteria. We will be discussing its role in network security. Network security refers to the practice of implementing measures to protect the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of computer networks and the data they transmit and store. It involves the use of hardware, software, and other protocols to secure the network infrastructure from unauthorized access, attacks, and other potential damage. Before we jump on how regex helps in network security, let's understand the basics of regex. The regex search. Suppose we have a regex string consisting of the word cat and the original string that we want to search is he captured a catfish for his cat. As we see, the word cat is getting repeated in the string two times. Using regex, it the compiler returns the leftmost match by default, and it goes forward sequentially matching all the other elements. A simple regex string consists of quantifiers, a character set, capture groups, and logical operators. Now, in order to jump into network security and the role of regex in it, let's understand how it helps in the server-side security as well as the client-side security. First, we have the password policy enforcement. Nowadays, in most websites or web applications, we often are required to log in or register to their platform. And often we are asked to create a password of our own. Most of the times, we tend to use some simple passwords which are easier for us to remember. But that's always not the most secure way as it can be easily hacked. Using regex, we can enforce a strong password policy by ensuring that the passwords meet certain criteria such as length, complexity, and the inclusion of special characters. Sometimes there is some websites that are blocked in specific countries. Using regex, we can validate and match IP addresses, ensuring that only specific IPs from countries or a particular region are only allowed to access a website or an application, and all other IPs are blocked. One of the most important roles of regex in network security is blocking CSRF tokens, that is cross-site request forgery. We will see this in a little more depth in the upcoming slides. Then we have intrusion detection systems or IDS. Regex can also be employed in IDX to define and detect specific patterns of malicious behavior in network traffic, helping to identify and prevent potential security threats. Regex can also help us identify SQL injection attempts by looking for some commonly used malicious SQL queries such as drop table commands. Just as we used regex in order to block the IP addresses of some particular region, we can also implement the same for URL filtering. Regex can be used to block specific URLs based on some specific criteria, allowing access to only approved websites. Regex can also be used to verify SSL and TLS certificate formats. It also helps to identify and block malicious emails or ensure that email addresses follow a specific format. This helps mostly in institutions where all the employees or students have access to a general mail ID. Now let's go and discuss the topic of CSRF tokens. CSRF or cross-site request forgery tokens are used as a authentication method in order to validate requests. Even in our own VIP network, we have CSRF tokens in VTOP. CSRF tokens are returned in an HTML response and not in cookies. This CSRF token is generated each time a user opens VTOP. Now, in order to automate the login process, a user can scrape the VTOP website, the login page, and extract the CSRF token using a simple regex query. And then it can perform the login through any programming language, let's say Python. The CSRF value is unique for every active user. The search function that is shown in the image includes a group to get the value of the CSRF token. As we can see, the CSRF token is then transferred to the VTOP's backend using a payload as a form of authenticating every network request. These tokens are renewed whenever the session expires, which is normally 15 minutes of inactivity. Apart from CSRF tokens, regex is also used in intrusion detection. Intrusion detection systems, or IDS, are security tools designed to monitor a network or a system activity for malicious activities or security policy violations. These systems can analyze network traffic and system logs to identify and respond to potential threats. There are two main types of IDS: network-based intrusion detection systems, or NIDS, and host-based intrusion detection system, or HIDS. We already discussed URL filtering as a use case of regex. In our own hostel, we have an implementation called FortiGuard, which allows us to block certain websites based on some predefined patterns. We also have the system of email detection in place whenever we get a external mail in our inboxes, in our student mail IDs, we get a, we get a label tagged as external. Regex can also be used for attachment scanning and analyzing if some files or some attached contents have some malicious malware. Apart from that, regex can also be used for content filtering, as it can block emails containing sensitive information or enhancing data loss prevention measures. Regex can also be used to check logs. Regular checks of the logs at a network and an OS level are done regularly using a regex database, as they contain valuable information on user agent analysis, IP address checking, SQL injection attempts, brute force attacks, and security protocol violations. In conclusion, regex emerges as a versatile cornerstone, seamlessly integrating into diverse defense strategies, from intrusion detection systems utilizing regex patterns to identify malicious activities, to data validation, thwarting vulnerabilities, and URL filtering, enforcing access policies, regex is pivotal. Its role extends to email content analysis, firewall configurations, and even password policy enforcement. Thus, regex plays an important role in network security, and that's all. Thank you.